Travelers on the Omnibus occasionally touches on mature subject matter with mature language. As such, the audience discretion is advised.
Welcome back to Travelers on the Omnibus, a field trip through nerd and pop culture. My name is Ethan Skinner.
I'm James McCarthy.
I'm Brady Davis.
I'm Jody Kite.
You sounded like I did about 2 days ago.
How many vomits?
7.
That's a lot of
7
vomits.
7 vomits.
I
This is
just
great
had,
podcast material.
It is,
Everybody
100%.
loves hearing about how much we vomit.
I had hay fever over the weekend.
Yeah. You were also sick.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Welcome to Sickcast, where we talk about how sick we have been. Tune in later for us all hawking up a loogie.
I was doing that Saturday night.
It was Sunday night that led into Tuesday morning to the point where I was running 105-degree fever.
Ooh,
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's beyond hospital times.
I was like sweating like through my shirt and everything. Apparently, Jay said I was wearing pajamas at work. I was not.
No. This man was delirious. This motherfucker comes to work in full-on fucking pajamas and a suit jacket.
Nice.
And it just worked. It just fucking. She smiled. See. No, I know that's the truth. She's hiding her face now. No, she knows.
You know, after 103, your brain starts cooking.
Yeah.
You know,
It
that's
gets
probably
all the
why.
worms out, though.
Yeah.
It gets all the worms out.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
worm free now.
There's definitely times when I thought I was okay. I'm going to die. I'm just
Jesus Christ.
I'm going to sit in my chair and I'm just gonna pass.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is
without
who we
a
decided
trace.
to host today. We forced him to.
Keep saying that in front of your fiance. I'm sure she loves hearing that.
Do you have life insurance?
She's smiling way too giddily
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah,
sir.
she knows what the policy.
Might as well take this opportunity while you're sick to tell you that the poll finished with 7-2 Dolphin Ethan versus
Oh,
Dapper
man,
Ethan.
that's great news to lift your spirits.
Dolphin Ethan won.
If that doesn't make you feel better, I don't know what would.
I have placed the order through Amazon.
You have placed the Dolphin Amazon.
No,
The
just regular
Dolphin
Amazon.
Amazon.
Just regular
Dolphin Amazon for all of your SeaWorld needs.
Yeah.
But no,
Amazon.
see, it hurts to laugh sometimes. So expect some like mild coughing.
But yeah, it has happened. The Dolphin has been ordered. You will be Dolphin Ethan.
The Dolphin.
The Dolphin has been ordered.
Yeah, the Dolphin has been ordered.
Are we gonna do
Gotcha.
it like the like Tusk, where we just knock him out and he wakes up and he's in a dolphin suit?
Just a bunch of
Dolphin.
littered like big gulps everywhere.
Yeah, he's in a dolphin
Bianca,
suit.
I need you to learn how to use ether.
Jesus.
She's her eyes are she's like that might be fun.
And how to sew very well.
Yeah.
And how to no I'll do the sewing so that
okay.
it's Tusk appropriate.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, she is saying something. What was that? She has a
she has
sewing
a sewing
machine.
machine.
You're going to need a big
Too-
one.
We're
Too
ahead
bad.
of.
Too bad I'm only using a needle and thread, baby.
I would have expected you to just use Staples.
No, we're not monsters.
Yeah, you're gonna be the monster.
But no, like, what was the thing you said? Like you're at Po Folks and you're like double fisting waters or something
Yes.
like that.
Yeah.
I was double fisting Gatorades, just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
trying,
There you go.
trying to
Trying
survive.
to not dehydrate completely.
Was like, were you
Powerade.
drinking Gatorade with one and then puking the Gator up in the second, and then
Jesus
just like
Christ,
back and
this
forth
is-
The
between
whole gator.
Yeah.
No, Gatorade.
if you
after
want to know why
Gatorade,
our
that's
viewership
it.
drops, it's going to be because of this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many pharmaceutical drugs.
Yeah.
How many
all
how many
of the-
street
All
drugs
perfectly legal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No illegal.
Yeah.
All of the illegal.
Oh, okay.
I'm starting to feel better. However,
How many bottles of
we will see.
Thermoflu did you drink?
Haven't drinking Thermoflu, but I am about halfway through Robitussin DX.
Drinking.
That's the good one.
You ain't drinking.
Drinking.
I've gone through half of our thing of Dayquil.
Yeah.
So we will see.
If Ethan's not in the second half, then you just know what happened.
Yeah.
He just died.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
just died.
Jay, what's been happening with you?
Animal Well. So Big Mode Productions, which is Video Game Donkey, the YouTuber's video game production company, released their first game called Animal Well, a solo design by one man, Mr. Billy Basso. over 7 years worth of design went into this. He designed the game engine, the graphics, the sounds, everything. Every puzzle in that game is from his brain. And let me add to my let me add to the chorus of universal acclaim for this thing, saying this is one of the best games I've played in a while.
Okay.
This gets a strong recommendation for me. That is the small review on it. Go a little bit deeper into it. This is a Metroidvania. People are using the term Metroidbrania, and I would like them to stop because the pun is a little too much. It is a Metroid game without combat, but all of the puzzles and all of the exploration. You can tell this is a singular vision and the designed backtracking. This is a solo project from one mind, so everything coalesces a lot better than it would be if multiple teams. Not to say that makes it better or worse. It's just you can see a singular vision from this game that plays out from the moment you hit the first jump in the game till way later in the game. Everything feels like a planned moment, and in a very good way. The design is great. It's 16-bit retro. Actually, the game comes with scan lines on. You can turn those off. You can turn off you can turn on and off various bunch of graphical stuff to help you. If the scan lines are getting in the way of you be able to read a room, you can just turn those off. I think Basso was very good in realizing some people may not enjoy this if I go with have to curtail it directly to this art style. I have not changed a single thing graphically about this. It is all at once a very calming game. There is typically no regular soundtrack. It's just the ambient sounds of the cave that you're in. And then the cat from Hosu shows up and things get fucking crazy. And it's amazing. It's amazing how this balances just very casual puzzle solving with very intense puzzle solving with horror. Pure unadulterated horror. It is amazing. It's an absolutely amazing experience. If you don't like puzzle games, you will not like Animal Well. If you don't like Metroidvanias, you will not like Animal Well. It is firmly within both of those camps. If you like either of those or both of those, again, this is one down from strong recommendation. This is a solid recommendation for me. Right now, it's on Steam for 10% off. Normally, it's going for $25. It was going for $22 on its release. It is also available on the PlayStation Store and is available on the Nintendo Switch as well.
If you have PS Plus, it is available for free, which I just downloaded.
If you have the premium, Yeah. Not just
regular PS Plus.
PS Plus. I will say I've seen a lot of streamers streaming this game this past week, and it looks really fun.
Yeah. So a lot of the argument I hear about this is only getting the attention it is because Donkey is the one who brought this to everybody. I will agree that Donkey's name attached to this added to this game a level of cachet. It also added a whole bunch with that you get Donkey's fans, but you also get Donkey's detractors who are going to now use Donkey being a part of this as any way to kind of throw shade at this game.
Yeah.
Again, I'm glad he did. I may not have known about this game.
Right.
It's emergent gameplay. It's another thing I want to mention to you. So, if you liked Tunic, the way you learn how to use your items is very Tunic-like. You get the item and then you just play around with it and you find a whole bunch of functions for it.
Interesting.
It's not minimalist. This is easily the most dense Metroidvania map I've ever played, and that includes Symphony of the Night.
Wow.
I'm not opposed to a game that has a built-in self-promotion device like Donkey being attached to it, because there's several different people. Just the other day, and this is a little bit off topic, but as far as business models go, there's this girl. She's an English streamer, and she streams mostly unboxing Harry Potter things. And unbeknownst to most of her fan base, which she's got a pretty big fan base on YouTube, she had been getting ready to open her own Harry Potter themed store in London called the Lost Cauldron. Yeah. She's got a big fan base. Day one, when she's 2 weeks out, she's like, I'm going to have this store in 2 weeks. And then people that are part of her group and everything, you get special invites to being there the day before grand opening. They had 400 people show up. Because she had a built-in fan base. There's nothing wrong with that. It gets more eyes on them.
It's like saying the Dice Tower Network which does board games, they do the Dice Tower Essentials, which is they basically put their stamp on these and make and try and get these games either reprinted or printed that they think are good. And yeah, a lot of those get eyeballs on them because they say in the little corner there it says Dice Tower is essential.
Right.
But that does, so what? Like, it doesn't, like, that's like complaining about that. Like, it's just yeah, of course this game probably wouldn't have gotten as much, people eyeballs on it if it wasn't for him. But like, fuck you.
That's just the way it goes.
That's just the way it goes. Yeah. Like, it's I don't understand why that's even like a thing that people are complaining about. I understand why they're complaining about it, but it's a stupid argument to me because like
I think this is it's not what I think the argument really attacks. It's more a corollary to everything. We have been inundated with influencer culture.
Yeah.
Where this person is promoting this product.
Yeah.
And it's a shit product.
Yeah, I mean that happens. Drop shipping is a big problem actually,
and that's where I think the paint on those two are being mixed together and doing wrong.
Right.
Donkey put his own money up.
Yeah,
like
that's right. It's two different things.
He has skin in the game. Like when Big Mode got announced, there was this. Like, not even from just his detractors, but from people kind of in the middle that are like, oh, this is going to be a big fucking scam. He's not going to put out any games. This is all bullshit, what's going on about it. And if anything Jason and Leah have shown is they're going to throw behind a game that is worth promoting.
Right.
The quality of the product mattered here. It did.
Yeah, of course.
Especially being the first game. If this had come out garbage,
right,
there would be a conditionally different opinion and consensus on this thing.
Of course.
But this game was very well done. And and again, I can't prove the negative. We do not live in a world where Animal Well wasn't promoted by Donkey.
Right.
But from what I have played of it, I have enjoyed this independent of the fact Donkey brought this to us.
Well, it's two different things for an influencer to get paid by some
third
company,
party,
some third party to promote this thing. And somebody putting up their own money to say, "Hey, this is I think a good product," and they have their own company, and they go, "We're going to put it out through this company." Like that's two totally different.
Because there have
things.
been some independent games that have been like eventually the best games that people have ever played, but they didn't know about it for like the first 2 years it was out because they didn't have money to put promotion or influence to put promotion out for it. That hit the same way as
Wasn't it it was either it was the two games that came out. It was either Among Us or what was the other one that was been out for forever, and what was the other one with
Fall Guys.
Fall Guys.
Fall Guys was more recent than Among Us. Actually, I think was out like a year or two before the pandemic.
Before it took
I remember one of those being
Among
out.
Us had to take traction through streamers.
Being out a lot.
Particularly OTV House with Disguised Toast and Saikuno, Valkyrie. Like that's a combo of again the pandemic and again influencers, but it's also a very simple, fun game. It was it was a good game that revealed itself once it was shown.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but if it doesn't have exposure, nobody knows it exists.
Yeah, it was out for a while, but it finally got exposure then. So, yeah, I think that's a stupid argument. If it's regardless of, of course, it probably wouldn't have gotten, the eyeballs on it without Donkey, but like, it's not
right.
It's not like the guy went and paid Donkey to promote this thing. He went out on his own and said, "Hey, this is a thing that I believe in. Let me promote it." Like that's again, it's very similar to what the Dice Tower Essentials line does. Is they find these games that they think are worth people knowing about.
You got that. You have Shut Up and Sit Down seal of approval. Like they've reviewed something. Like I actually went back today. I guess as a quick little thing. Also, I backed on. I mentioned this in a couple podcasts ago. I finally was able to back the Mayday Crokinole boards. I'm getting a mahogany board for 50% the cost, like 25% the shipping and handling and delivery stuff for that, along with the case. I'm going to spend $200-ish, like actually more along the lines like $180, which is what the board would normally cost. And so I'm getting that, the carrying case, and a whole bunch of other stuff along with it.
Nice.
Mayday is, and this is their 8th run at this. This one again is mahogany and beechwood. The beechwood looked cool, but it was a little too stark for me. I like that the mahogany just looked like wood, whereas
Right.
beechwood almost kind of looked like marble, and I think it stood out a little bit too much.
Yeah.
That's a personal opinion there. I want to go back to Animal Well, just kind of finish this. If anyone's asking me to describe anything in gameplay, this game is so secret dense. There was, just to put there was a room in the game that you walk by constantly. I did not realize that puzzle is intended to be effectively an ARG that you don't find out about till later in the game. And like I've already said too much. I feel like I've already said too much about it because as they put out in the promotional stuff, the layers of secrets in this game is what's the driving force behind this, and they're 100% correct. I feel like I'm finding more and more stuff out, and also there is no in the times long past, in the beginning of the end, when the end was just the beginning. Like there's nothing like that as far as like script goes. The game opens with 4 flames going dark, and you arrive out, and you're a slime that is birthed from looks like a flower pod. Go, okay, good
That's
stuff.
all I need.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the game on the first screen teaches you about the game. It's a fantastic production. Again, solid recommendation because of how niche Metroidvanias can get, and the fact that I know there are people who hate puzzle games. I would say those are the two to avoid there. And also, in a world where like 60 gigs is your standard download and install onto a drive, this was 32 megabytes. The portrait on Steam's page for this game, I think, takes up more memory in your memory than the actual game does.
I think I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so much fun. Solid recommendation. Strong recommendation is Dune Part 2. This is solid recommendation.
Okay.
Gotcha. Jody, let's go with you.
So like I was also I was sick until Monday night, so I really didn't do a whole lot this weekend. But during the week, and then last night, I was just in the mood to watch a solid animated movie in a classic sense that I haven't watched in a while.
All right.
And I have to like let a long time go before I go back to certain films that if I've watched them a lot, or even if I haven't, and they were like so bigger than life that I didn't want to go back, because sometimes they had like, the art style and the story is so final that you really can't go back to it too often. And so I watched The Secret of NIMH last night, Don Bluth, Secret of NIMH. And Don Bluth's animation just holds up so well.
Oh, yeah.
Over time.
Yeah, growing up, The Secret of NIMH was oddly one that I didn't watch as much, but I watched like so many of his movies like as a child.
All
I watched
Dogs Go to Heaven.
All Dogs Go to Heaven I watched so much. Some of his like not as well remembered ones, like I watched the hell out of Rockadoodle. Yeah. Both the American Tail and the American Tail Five Will Goes West. I think I actually watched Five Will Goes West way more. I don't even think that might have been through his animation studio by then, but I can't remember. As I
always watched, I realized that I think I'd only seen Secret of NIMH all the way through once before.
Yeah.
I'd seen it in pieces on television, so
I've watched it in pieces mostly.
I think 5-0 Goes West. I think that is the last credited work from Jimmy Stewart.
Okay.
He played the dog sheriff.
Yeah, the dog sheriff.
Gotcha. But yeah, I really do enjoy a good classic animated, because there's really like it's like Americana. There's not many of those.
Oh, and Land Before Time. I would always watch that and cry.
I forgot that was a Don Bluth movie.
Yeah.
But
the first one was,
the first one, yeah. And then there are parts of older Disney films that he had a hand in.
Oh yeah, he was
Pete's Dragon, right?
Pete's Dragon.
Pete's
Dragon,
Dragon. I want to say if he wasn't involved in the Rescuers, it looks like his style of animation. But he might.
That
not.
was definitely around his era. I don't know if that was one that he was.
It might not be, but I'm not sure.
Okay, it was around the era that.
But
he
it
was in
looks
there.
like a Don Bluth film. It's got that style.
He was in that what they call the quote unquote dark ages
times.
Of
He
Disney.
also worked on Anastasia.
Anastasia. Yeah,
I'm not surprised on that.
I
That's
enjoyed
actually
Anastasia.
on Disney Plus now. So I think
I think that was a 20th Century Fox
it was a
production.
Fox one. Yeah. I remember that being like a big deal when I was that coming out was a big deal.
Right.
He also worked on Titan AE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Titan AE is very underrated, I think.
I enjoy Titan AE.
It didn't do well in the box office.
It did horrible in the box office.
And it also cost too much money to make. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
I heard about production problems. Maybe I'm wrong about that one. And so that budget went higher, and then it didn't do what they were hoping.
It was one of
would
the earlier ones to use like computer imaging for like the main bad guys. But
that and Journey to Atlantis on Disney's side.
Yeah.
Those are two underrated animated films.
Yeah.
Treasure Planet too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
all
love
of
Treasure
those did
Planets.
really, really bad. I love all three of those.
Yeah.
And it's because for some reason, like animated sci-fi does really, really bad.
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand why. Because even the movie that you talked about quite a while ago, the Strange Worlds, or is that it? The
Strange World?
Strange World.
The new Disney one?
Yeah, the new Disney
Yeah.
one. That one didn't do well.
Yeah.
For some
It
reason,
didn't
like
do well, but it was still enjoyable.
which sucks because like animated sci-fi, I
do.
really
I
like.
do dig it. I do dig it a lot.
Oh, Atlantis is one of my favorite Disney.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
really good.
Atlantis.
It's really
But
good.
yeah, back to Secret of NIMH. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I'd forgotten so much about it. I've forgotten the whole entire plot of it because it's so, you have all these like mystical animals that have
Yeah.
like magical abilities or they're hyper aware. And unlike, most fantasy based movies, like this is a fantasy based movie, wouldn't really explain the nature of that. And in NIMH, they explain all of
Yeah.
it. They explain like, this is why,
Yeah.
and here it is.
Yeah, and that's one of those super dark movies.
Oh yeah, it's real dark.
Scare the shit out of. I don't think he might not have a movie where there wasn't like something that would
Creepy as
scare the
fuck.
shit out of you as a
Dude,
child.
that owl was creepy as fuck.
Oh yeah,
Even some of the good characters like Nicodemus was creepy looking.
yeah. Fucking all dogs go to heaven. They show hell.
Yeah.
So dog hell.
He goes to dog
Yes,
hell.
Dog hell.
Dude gets run over by a car at the end of a pier.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, people and characters like died in animated
The
stuff.
the second movie, yeah, you just have Satan.
Yeah.
That's it.
There's a cat Satan in
Yeah,
that one.
Cat Satan who's opening a portal to hell.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have that anymore.
Wants to corrupt the gates of heaven.
Yeah, you don't have that anymore. It's a shame
God.
too.
I actually enjoyed the.
I think most of that is the lesser known movies, or most of the weirdness and the creepiness is in TV shows, animated TV shows now.
Yeah, right.
Because you got all of those from like the like regular show and Adventure Time, and all those have
Adventure Time specifically,
Yeah.
like
I think it's Adventure Time was where all of those shows kind of all the people who worked on that show
Right.
like went off and did their own shows. and
Right.
that's where you have all those creepy weird shit coming from. I think it's mostly shows now, but yeah. Especially in like a Disney movie, like they take it. They
the
tend to take
Lich.
it
The
safe.
Lich from Adventure Time is one of the most unnerving
Oh, yeah.
characters.
Oh, yeah.
Because the
Yes.
entire show
Yeah.
changes like almost art style.
Uh-huh.
Like everything about that show changes when the Lich is a part of it. That
Yeah.
was so, and voiced by Ron Perlman. So
Yeah. Yeah.
So I did that, and then I played like the first 2 weeks of the current season of Fortnite, which is ending next week.
Okay.
When it came out.
Mm-hmm.
And so Sunday, even though I was sick, I was like, I feel like playing a video game. And you know what? I've only got umpteen challenges to do in Fortnite before the season's gone. So I might as well go ahead and try and like grind out my next pass. So I did it. I did 8 weeks of challenges, which is like there's weekly challenges, which there's like usually like 5 or 6 per week. So there was like 8 weeks of that. And then there was story challenges because it's all based off of Greek mythology.
Yeah.
So there's like, you got to go kill Zeus, and then you got to go kill Hades, and then you got to go kill this one, and you got to like align with Medusa, and you got wait a minute, you got to go kill Zeus again, and those god fights were ridiculous. They were real because you're having to do all this while there's other players.
Oh, okay.
So. And there's different strategies. Like anytime I'd like show up at Olympus and I had to kill Zeus, I'm like, all right, well, I got to try and kill as many people as I can while I'm here. And if I can't, I'll just unleash Zeus on him and run off for a minute while they're having to fight all of his minions, and then go back and fucking scavenge them and shoot him in the back. But I did it. I did all the challenges for that. I started to do. There's like 30,000 Lego challenges that I didn't do because they had that this season as well, and it's weird. It's like they try to like put like Lego video games and Minecraft together in Fortnite, and it doesn't work for me.
I can speak from personal experience. I played it for like 3 days with our friend John Sheldon, and had nothing to do with playing with John. It's just like I've done this before in a much better thing called Minecraft. It's just Minecraft is just solidly better overall.
I played the Lego thing like for 15 or 20 minutes. I'm like, nope, I don't need it. I don't care about it. Unlockables, I've unlocked all enough in-game currency that I can get the next pass, which is what I've done ever since they started Battle Royale in Fortnite. I've only purchased the Battle Pass once because I grind out every season enough to unlock V coins to where I don't have to pay for it. And also, like they've made so the game is not even close to what it used to be. It's so different now. And it's a game that has evolved, for me anyway, at least the no build mode, because I can't go back, to where it's got everything in it. There's car racing, there's cars, there's weapons, there's like heists, there's gods, there's everything in the game. So, you know, and then I go back to play Minecraft every once in a while too. I do that off and on, but yeah, that's what I've been doing this week though.
Okay,
Nice.
cool.
That leaves Mr. Brady sitting across the table from me.
Okay, so there's a couple of shows that I have watched. Some starting, some ending. The first one is the newest season of Doctor Who started with Ncuti Gatwa as the Doctor.
The 15th Doctor.
Yeah, I can't keep track anymore. They are they dropped 2 episodes and they are pretty. At least the second one especially is like batshit crazy, but they're pretty good. I like them so far. The chemistry that he has with his companion Ruby is really cool and interesting. The first one, they go to this space station that's like a baby farm, and you have all these weird creepy babies that they make their lips move so they talk and everything, but they're babies in strollers and shit, like powered strollers, and they're running this space station, and they're being chased by a monster that's under the ground, that's in the under parts of the station. That one was pretty interesting. The second one was, I think, the best episode of the 2. They introduced the Maestro, who is related to the toy maker from one of the previous movies that they did, and they're kind of a powered being like that, except they control music, and they start stealing the music. The Doctor and Ruby go to see the Beatles record their first album, and they get there and like all the songs are shit. And it's because in the 1920s the Maestro showed up and started eating music basically. So and it ends up like they go forward a little bit and they're like, yeah, your future doesn't exist because music died. So like people have no outlets for anything, like their creative outlets are hampered. And the Maestro is very, very over the top and just chewing the hell. Yeah, there's a picture of them, just chewing the hell out of scenery, and it is great.
For our audio listeners, which are everybody, look up the Maestro on Google.
Yeah,
and if you get an AI search, just shoot your phone.
It is very, very campy, but yeah, it's pretty funny and interesting. And like I said, it's batshit crazy and over the top, and that's cool.
The Maestro looks like Eddie Redmayne from this 2024's version of Cabaret.
Reminded me of Bette Midler from Hocus Pocus.
Look up Eddie Redmayne Cabaret 2024
now.
I want to say the person. I haven't looked it up because it didn't matter to me. But I want to say the person playing the Maestro
Eddie Redmayne
is
as the MC from Cabaret 2024.
Cabaret.
Sorry.
Cabaret. Yes, Cabaret.
I think the person playing might be they're a drag queen. I want to say. which makes sense. Like it's a super
Well,
over the top.
the
campy.
MC is.
Well, no, I'm talking about the person playing the maestro.
Gotcha.
But I could be wrong about that. If I am wrong, I apologize. I just didn't do research because I didn't particularly like. It didn't matter to me.
Right.
But so far that's good. It's interesting. It's a fresh take on everything feels a little fresh with Doctor Who right now, so that's good. They do a really weird thing though, where they actually count this as the second and third episode, because the first full episode that was the movie with the Doctor, they just called that the first episode, so it's kind of confusing. But they're laying like mysteries because there's like more of these beings that are related to the toy maker and the maestro that are supposed to be coming through. There's also the mystery of who Ruby's mother is, because Ruby was just left on the doorstep of a church one Christmas Eve. So there's these little mysteries that they're throwing out. They're doing a good job where it's like, in those New Who seasons where they would have like an overarching mystery, but it wasn't like, it wasn't serialized. You could still watch any of the episodes.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, I also I was just bored and was wanting to watch something, so I watched the entire first season of the My Adventures with Superman on Max. It's pretty good. It's an interesting take on Superman. It's a little bit different. Some of the differences with this is, so Clark doesn't know shit about where he comes from. Like, he finds, like, his parents show him his spaceship, which actually like ends up being like the way Kryptonian technology works is it grows, like it's bigger as he gets older, and he finds like he goes inside it and gets his suit and everything, but like he meets the Jor-El like hologram, but it's speaking in Kryptonian, so he doesn't know what the fuck it's saying. So he doesn't know shit about where he came from or anything. So I think that's very interesting, of like a Superman who just doesn't know his past. And he's also kind of, the way his powers work here is he's almost unlocking them.
Yeah.
Like,
that I actually loved that about the series, is because you know this character, but you're finding alongside him what he's able to do.
Yeah.
And because you have that past knowledge, it's actually, oh, Clark, the adventures you're going to have.
Yeah, and it also keeps it to where like he doesn't have all of his powers, and even like the powers that, like, he can fly and he's super strong and kind of invulnerable, but it doesn't feel like he's quite to Superman levels yet. So it allows him to like get the shit beat out of him, but you don't feel like, oh, they just, like, it makes sense as to why he's not.
So he can actually grow as a character.
Yeah, so he can actually grow as a character,
Also,
which is an interesting way to do it, I think.
Shout out to Jack Quaid for one of the best voicings
yeah.
of Superman and Clark Kent I've ever experienced.
All of the voice actors in this are really, really good.
So it's animated?
Yeah, it's animated.
It's anime.
Yeah.
It's anime style. So
Yeah.
which for me to have a positive experience on that, yeah.
And the other change they do is like everybody's kind of just starting out. Like, Lois Lane isn't a star reporter; she's an intern.
Gotcha.
Jimmy and Clark are starting as interns. The Lois Clark relationship like starts very quickly. Like, they become an item, and
it's a puppy love thing.
Yeah.
It's adorable. It's
yeah,
absolutely
and
adorable.
Both Jimmy and Lois find out his secret identity like very early.
Oh.
So it's Superman, but they change it enough to where it's interesting to us. Like, okay, this is a new way of doing things, so this is very interesting. So I'm actually pretty interested in, when I think season 2 is coming out pretty soon. So I'm actually interested in that. And then today, the X-Men 97 finale dropped. And I want to say, if you haven't been watching this, if you were the least bit interested in X-Men, if you were the least bit interested in Marvel, this is one of the best things that Marvel has done probably the last 5-6 years. It's that and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, really, that can even come close to it, I think.
I've been meaning to catch up with it. I just haven't.
Yeah, it's
but
all out.
I plan on finishing it.
I imagine the only thing I think that's kept me from binging it was the fact that it was coming out every week. Mm-hmm. It's all out now. It's very, very good.
I'm more than likely going to finish it.
Yeah, when you start watching it, you will probably finish it if you have the time. This last episode did a lot of things. There was like, they did some fan service, but it was actually pretty cool fan service because it didn't like overtake the thing. Because you're just like, oh shit, there's that person, and oh shit, there's that person, and some things that I don't really want to spoil. They did some like big things that happened in the comics happen here, and it's really crazy to see it in in TV form,
moving
picture form.
Yeah, because for the most part, the original series, they kind of touched on things. They did do a little bit of the Dark Phoenix
They
saga.
did pretty much the whole Dark Phoenix saga.
But
Just
they-
very condensed.
But
It's very condensed.
they stayed away from a lot of things outside of like the Sentinels and stuff like that. They
Yeah.
kind of like stayed away from main story arcs.
but
that whole first season felt like Sentinel Attack of the Week.
Yeah.
and they did a lot of just introducing a character, like here's Colossus, here's Nightcrawler, and things like that. They do that a lot.
There's also a more mature sensibility for this. Like you're going to see things more evocatively than you did in the original. Like, like there is death, there is blood, there is violence.
Yeah.
Right.
It's nothing so shocking. It will be a shock, but it's
Yeah.
not like they're doing it just to to get you. It's in furtherance of the stories that's been going on.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. Like they do a really good job of like everybody gets their moment to shine. Like there is not one character where you can say, well, they didn't get to do anything. Like they all get to do something really cool.
I like that the final boss battle was between a big villain and racism.
Yeah, yeah. They do a really good job of like, okay, we're not just here to beat the shit out of people. We're here to like try and change the world as best we can. They've set up some very interesting things that are going to happen for the next season. They've hopefully set up some things to where like this can be like a whole, a whole range of new shows and bringing back old shows. I would love for them to bring back, like the Spider-Man show.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want the Fantastic Four animated series brought back.
That would also
Fantastic
be
Four
good.
would be really cool.
All those
in my
nuggies.
heart of hearts, I want the Silver Surfer show to come back.
That would also be good.
Because I love that shit. I love all that.
Yeah, and they
part of
actually had, there was
Marvel.
crossovers on those shows too.
Yes,
they
there's-
had Punisher was on Spider-Man.
The X-Men showed up on Spider-Man. I think
Silver
it was
Surfer
I think
showed
it was
up
an
on
X-Men.
Fantastic Four.
Iron Man was in Spider-Man. So
Yeah.
like all of those
Yeah.
characters. I think Captain America was in maybe X-Men. I can't remember.
Captain America was in Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Yeah, a lot of
It seemed like everyone was just joining with Spider-Man.
yeah,
at some
they're all
point.
in the same. They're all in the same universe, so they can bring
Right.
that. And they there's a lot of cameos throughout the show, and especially in this last episode, they just show like it's one of those things like you watch a Marvel movie and you're like, oh my god, this world-ending thing is happening. Where are all the other heroes at? And it's telling you where all the like. Oh, these heroes are here. They're dealing with bullshit. Like
Yeah.
it
Right.
sucks. I'm like they're having to deal with this bullshit. So yeah, don't worry. Like they're there. They're just
Like,
not here.
They're aware of the danger that's going on.
Things are happening with them. It's just they're not here dealing with the main thing. But yeah, it's really good. I like that the main villain of this is different. It is something that wouldn't have been around that time. Like he came in way afterwards. So they're not afraid to pull from the newer stuff and start doing things like that, which is really cool. So that means that like that just opens it up to like, okay, we can tell these old stories, which there are tons of things that we've missed, but then we can also tell some of these newer things too. So yeah, I would definitely like super hard recommend like again, this is one of the best Marvel things that came out in a very long time. Top 2 at the very least.
So strongest
Yeah,
recommendation.
it's not even close,
Yeah,
really.
okay.
It's that you like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and that is like the only thing that's even come.
I believe it.
Like that's up
Yes.
there. So just a little update with our we played a little bit of our RPG today. They took down our intrepid heroes, took down a gang, and they found out that about the Witchfire, which is a magic sword that steals people's souls and can raise the dead. It's a very powerful artifact, and they're having to probably go get it. And then the last thing, so I wanted to watch a movie, but I didn't want to watch a super serious movie. So I watched a comedy, and that comedy is called The Death of Stalin. And this is an absurdist comedy about what happens right before and right after the death of Stalin. And a lot of it are things that really happened. It's just condensed into a few days instead of a few months. And it's if I'm not mistaken, it's the same guy who created the show Veep with Julia
Louis Drive.
Censored.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
there we go.
Okay. I didn't want to have to make that decision in the moment.
Yeah, her.
Hold on, wait a minute. Julia Louis Dreyfus.
Yeah, there we go. For some reason, I cannot say her name right now, but
It's many French syllables.
yeah, but yeah, it's an absurdist comedy. Like it's very silly. Like Steve Buscemi is Nikita Khrushchev. Jeffrey Tambor is there. Like it's a stacked cast. Jason Isaac, Andrea Riseborough, I think that's her name. Like stacked cast, and they're all just like, because everything that happened with Stalin's death is like really stupid. But yeah, it's incredibly funny. And if you know anything about like history, like if you know the history of that era, it is very interesting to watch. Like fucking Jason Isaacs is Colonel, is the Grand Field Marshal Zhukov. Fucking like the first time you see him, he's like wearing a coat over his shoulders and he throws it off and he's got like medals all down his shirt. And it's like, yeah, that sounds like Zhukov. Like, Buscemi is Khrushchev is like so fucking funny. But yeah, them all trying to scramble and figure out what the hell they're gonna do. And
now that Stalin's dead.
Yeah, now that Stalin's dead, because Stalin died because he had a stroke and collapsed in his room, and nobody wanted to, and everybody was too afraid to check on him. Mm-hmm. Like, because they knew not to go out, not to go into his room until he told somebody to, until he came out.
Because it involves this area of history. So there's this guy, his name's Adolf Hitler. He was an evil motherfucker. He came from a bohemian heritage, to the point where he regularly woke up at noon. Mm-hmm. The day D-Day happened, he had assumed control over, I think, all but 3 tank divisions and had them parked in Paris. Mm-hmm. And the reason why the tank divisions didn't get to the coast in time is because he was still asleep and nobody wanted to wake him up and fear his wrath. Yeah.
It was very much the same with, like, they do a little thing where in the very beginning where they're playing this concerto live over the radio, and Stalin calls the people who are like doing the radio shit there, and he's just like, yeah, call me back in 17 minutes at this number. And the guy's like, okay, was that a 5 or a 9? I couldn't hear you. And nobody speaks with like a Russian accent. Everybody's just speaking in whatever accent they are. If they're British, they're speaking like the guy who plays Stalin is speaking in like a Cockney accent. They're not taking this shit seriously.
Hey, yo, proletariat.
Yeah.
How are you?
Like Jeffrey Tambor and Buscemi are just doing the regular ass voices. Like nobody's putting. It's so fucking funny, and the guy's just like, okay, was it 17 minutes from when I said I would call him back, or when he hungs up with me? And then he calls him back and was like, yeah, I want a recording of tonight's performance. I'll send somebody there shortly. And the guy's like, hey, did you happen to record that? And the guy was like, no. So they have to get everybody back in there and to do it again, and they had to get people off the street because half the people had already left, so the acoustics weren't going to be exactly right. And then when they're talking, like the lead pianist, she was like, I'm not going to do it. And the guys and they're talking to the conductor, and he's like, if we get somebody else, like he's gonna, like, of course he's gonna, and he says something that's slightly disparaging to Stalin. And he's like, why would you say that? Don't you think that this place might be bugged? And he's like, oh my God. And he has such an anxiety attack that he passes out, hits a fire pail, and knocks himself out. So they have to go get another conductor to come in and do it. And they have to pay the pianist to do the stuff.
I want to see this movie now.
What service is it on?
It's on
Hulu.
Yeah, it's on Hulu.
Okay.
I want to say it might be somewhere else, but it's so fucking funny. Even if you don't know anything about it, just the absurdity, and it's not far from the truth. It's just everything is condensed. Like if you look at what really happened, like a lot of this shit really happened. And yeah, you get to see how much Lavrenti Brezhnev is a son of a bitch. But yeah, it's great. like if you're interested in the least bit in like a wacky comedy that kind of takes the piss out of a terrifying figure of history, like watch this. It's great. Like
It's like Doctor Strangelove, but
yeah.
but modern.
When they find him, he's like, they have him rolled over and he's like, he pissed himself, and like everybody keeps coming in and like crying, and they want to kneel by him, but then they don't want, but they go down and like, oh, is that piss? And it's like, oh shit, and then they have to run to the other side. It's so fucking funny, and they're like, oh my god, we should carry him to his bed, and they're all just so many little bits, but there's also some like horrifying parts of this because they're giving out here's the list of people to round up and murder.
right.
So yeah, but yeah, check that out. Death of Stalin's great.
Oh, that's amazing. Anything else, Brady?
No, that was pretty much it.
Alrighty, Jay, tell the fine people where they can find us.
Well, aren't you going to ask me if we had feedback?
Oh, do we have feedback?
No.
Okay.
How silly of you. I already told you that before the show. Anyway.
Okay.
No, but ladies and gentlemen, thank you for stopping by and being passengers on the bus this week. If you would like to leave feedback to us, travelers on the omnibus at gmail.com. Again, that is travelers, 1L on the omnibus at gmail.com. Jody, where else can they get in touch with us?
Spotify.
Yes, take part in any part of our polls and questions, one apiece for each episode that we do. Last episode's polls and questions revolve around the notion of what are your favorite Star Wars games and what favorite I actually forgot what the poll was, and I'm the one who made the poll. But it was one of our hell yes, yes, no, hell no polls where I ask you a question and you tell me whether emphatically in the other direction we were right or wrong. But yes, also, ladies and gentlemen, if you're enjoying your time with us on the bus and you'd like to share that with friends or perhaps enemies, but they don't listen to podcasts on the same channels that you listen to podcasts on, we're available on Spotify, Apple, YouTube Music, and Amazon.
Send us $5 and we'll tell your enemies to go fuck off.
You know what? Yeah.
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 I like that one.
Venmo us and we'll.
Yeah.
No,
This is-
no, because someone's
is-
gonna like the $5. We might end up getting like $22 because someone will just ask for $2 and we'll do it anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
and then
no.
someone will
That's
sue us.
that's Patreon tiers.
And
Brady's
then-
got a
and
good
then-
idea.
And then,
Patreon
and then
tiers.
someone will sue us for $27, and then we're down $5. Like the whole thing cost us money.
Patreon.
With that,
We don't have a Patreon yet, but we're thinking about it.
We're gonna go into our main topic. And we are back with our main topic, and with tradition of this month only, we're continuing
With tradition, this long storied tradition
These
that we
long-
have only done this month,
Yeah, these
and
long-
we'll probably only do this.
We're these long 2 weeks.
Every 3 seasons we do this for 1 month out of the year.
I will say I've loved our first one was Star Wars because it was the first one. Last week was Starboards.
Okay.
And then this week is going to be Chalk
Wars.
Wars.
Yes.
So it's going to be great.
We're continuing with Star Wars, and today, this evening, morning, night's topic is top 5 secondary Star Wars characters.
I had it as obscure Star Wars characters.
Secondary / obscure.
Yeah. You could
Obscure,
either or.
obscure, depending on your knowledge of.
I tried to be
the
a little bit more
universe.
obscure, but some of mine might not end up being super obscure.
Same.
These
Or
are
it's not super obscure, but you didn't know that this person even had a fucking name, and everybody has a fucking name.
I'm
in
going to
Star
ask
Wars.
before we get started, Ethan. Before you started doing research for this, how much did you not know about the expanded universe of Star Wars?
How many Skywalkers?
How many Skywalkers? How many Solos?
The answer is all of them.
I just made a list.
Did you?
I did my best on my list.
Okay.
I just wrote 5 names.
We're
down
all gonna
and-
do like deep lore shit and like either just like these are 5 names that I found. that aren't the main
these are guys
Spoiler,
I think
I'm
are-
not, with one exception, no deep lore shit.
Yeah, I'm just picking. I'm just
like
giving Ethan shit.
I'll let everybody Google my searches.
It really like I will say like it really like brought me back to the days when I would just like read all about this shit. Like I didn't usually read the books or the comics or anything, but I read like stuff that would like summarize all these characters. I had a fucking Star Wars character encyclopedia. I still have it. That's part of what I use to look through
Hell yeah.
through this shit. But yeah, like
one of the videos I watched was like about Lego Star Wars because they use obscure characters, like really obscure characters. And one of those, one of them with the 6 movies together, or I think it's like the 9 movies together, there were 365 playable characters, and people still complain that they missed on like 30 or 40 extra characters. It's wild.
So yeah, we're going to give our top 5 lists, and you all know the deal. We're gonna have contenders for the penultimate undisputed top 5 of all time.
That list is the ultimate. The contenders list is the penultimate.
Yes.
yeah.
There you go.
And what I have a nuclear bullet that I am going to give to one of these 3 individuals.
One superstar destroyer bullet.
Yeah.
I'm going to give to one Star Destroyer.
Sun Crusher bullet. Ha ha ha! I've already started so deep you can't even see the sun.
Jesus.
Because we blew it up.
All five suns at once.
Jesus. We are going
The
to
Imperial strategy in the dark time in the Legends after was just, what can we do to blow up an even bigger thing?
Yeah, yeah. Let's create another Death Star, but we can't call it a Death Star.
This one
Yeah.
blows
You got
up
the
galaxies.
Sun
Sun Crusher.
Yeah.
And then it got followed by the Galaxy Cuisinart.
Galaxy
The
Cuisinart.
World Devastator.
Yeah.
so many planetary weapons. of
It was just
destructions.
let's
Like,
kill
it's-
another planet. Let's
We've
figure out a
got
way
we've
to kill
got to
it.
dominate the galaxy by destroying.
And the World Devastators were just like really inefficient Death Star lasers because they had to land and start drilling into the planet.
Yeah.
And it's like, get some X-Wings, blow that up. It's done.
The Sun Crusher was the most bullshit thing because it was like half the size of the Millennium Falcon and it was impenetrable. Like you couldn't destroy it.
Jesus.
Let's blow up all the resources to show them what for.
Let us begin this list with Jody.
Oh man, that's your first mistake. All right, so before I say my number 5, I actually
You got a preamble.
I came up with a joke list that I was gonna do, but I didn't want Jay to have to write this shit twice. So for everyone, I'm gonna say the fake one first,
Okay.
and then what the real one's gonna be.
Okay.
So,
Oh, he's making the second list.
sweet.
All right. So, hon, J for joke, R for real. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So, joke number 5, Bib Fortuna.
He was on my short list. That wasn't a joke.
That's not a joke.
Yeah.
I will take you to Jabba now.
Yeah.
He's using old Jedi mind trick. That shouldn't be as funny as it is. What the fuck?
Number 4, Abeloth. ABELOTH.
Ableth.
Ableth. Yeah.
Okay.
Ableth.
What the fuck is an ableth?
That
Who is
sounds
Abeloth?
familiar.
She's fucking evil as shit,
Yeah.
actually. So let's see. Okay, so we got Bib Fortuna, we got Ableth.
Are we still on the joke list?
We're on
Yeah.
the joke. We're on the
Okay,
joke
we were
list.
doing the joke
currently.
list
We're gonna do a
first.
joke
I thought you were
list.
going 1 5 5 4 4.
No,
but
no,
it's 5 5. Okay.
because I've got them all 10 together.
Okay,
because
let's,
I wanted to really fuck myself up.
We just want to make this as confusing as possible.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
I know this is going to be the best we've ever done.
Yes.
Can't wait.
The next one is Zuckus.
Zuckus?
Zuckus.
Yeah, Zuckus.
I love Zuckus.
Zuckus and 4 Lone were on my short
Yes.
list.
Yeah,
I was going
yeah.
to put them together. They are a pair. They go together. I love how it's just going to be Ethan Googling all these people to see
Yeah,
who the fuck is this? What 5 seconds in what Star Wars movie was this shit in?
I think he's looking up what are the signs of stroke.
Oh, that guy.
Because if you say these words correctly, you might be considered to
Yeah,
having
do you
a
want
stroke.
me to? I could tell you who these fucking except for
I
Obleth.
don't know names.
Number
I know
2
faces.
on your joke list.
Juno Eclipse.
Juno Eclipse. That sounds familiar too, but I don't remember.
She's
that.
from the Force Awakens video game.
Oh,
and she was
okay.
also in Legends a little bit
Oh,
as
okay.
well. And my number 1
On your first top 5.
on my first top 5, Mara Jade.
Mara Jade.
Who is
How
not-
is this a joke list? Like, what the fuck, man?
She's not a secondary or really obscure character.
She's an obscure character now, I would argue.
Well, yeah. Yeah,
But I think that she is a little bit away
Hold
from.
on, this is the first opportunity I have to put Skywalker on something, so it's Mara
she did
Jade
eventually
Skywalker.
become a Skywalker by marriage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was banging Luke.
Yep.
She was the secret hand of the Emperor that you never saw because she was so secret in the main movies, but she was there.
She was
was
supposed to take Luke out on Jabba's barge and then just didn't.
Yeah.
We don't know why.
She had the hots for him. So my real number 5, Bazine Natal.
This sounds like a joke.
Yeah, are you sure you didn't get these mixed up? Because one of these sounds normal, the other one doesn't.
The other one sounds like a stroke.
This one's gonna sound like Planet of the Apes because Dr. Cornelius is my number 4.
I like how you're not telling us any about who
Yeah.
these people are.
I
You're
will.
just
I
naming
will
them.
in a minute.
We don't have 4 hours.
Aria song.
Jesus Christ! Are you sure that you did
No,
not get this?
I know Arya's song.
This one I'm not.
I can confirm
None
the
of
third
these I'm
entry
fam-
on his list.
None of these are I'm familiar with. So you're stumping me, and that's saying
Number
something.
2, the B1 battle droid.
Okay. The one with the yellow stripes, where he just like he was
He's the Roger one.
the Roger.
Roger.
Yeah.
Roger.
And my number 1, not joke, is Luke Skywalker, the clone.
Luke, Luuk. Yeah.
The clone, though.
Yeah, it was
Did you
Luke.
know they cloned Luke Skywalker?
They cloned everybody
I
in
did
in,
not.
in
Everyone
the
has been cloned.
in the expanded universe. Like every other book was like, here's another Palpatine clone. Literally
Jesus.
every other book.
That got so bad they cloned Paul Atreides, and that's a completely different fucking franchise.
So Dr. Cornelius
Okay.
is in the first movie. Is in A New Hope.
Okay.
Oh, he's the guy smoking with the weird eye. No,
He's got the weird-
he's the guy who gets cut. Who his arm gets cut off.
He's the friend of the guy that gets. He's
Yeah.
the one. He's the
Oh
one
yeah,
that. Yeah.
Ponda Baba
Ponda
is
Baba got
Ponda
to-
Baba
yeah,
is the guy
cut
who
off.
gets
Yeah,
his arm
Cornelius.
cut off.
They made a backstory for this guy that he was like a mad scientist that worked for the Empire, but fucked up so bad that he became a smuggler.
He's the guy who says, "I don't like you. I don't like you either."
don't
and
like
I've got
you
the
either.
death sentence on 3 sis.
He also had like one scene in Rogue One.
They run into him too.
They
there.
run into him in the street.
Yeah.
and he's like, "Watch where you're going" or some
Yeah.
shit or whatever.
I remember. I didn't remember him. I remember Ponda Baba. He's the ass face guy. Everybody has a name and everybody has a backstory.
Yeah.
Every single person who's in the Mos Eisley Cantina has a name and a backstory.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for reminding me. I couldn't remember
Yeah,
what his
yeah.
name was. I remembered the other guy. Most of these other
what
people.
about Bazim the Tall?
Bazine Natal was she was I want to say she was an assassin for the Empire.
Yeah, that
she's
tracks.
got a pretty good backstory, but it's not very fleshed out because these side characters don't have a lot.
Yeah.
But she was in they showed her in different like stuff on like Clone Wars, and like I think she
okay.
was like in one shot during the pod racing scene or whatever, like in the stands or whatever.
Is that she's got like really like pale skin and like a ponytail, but the rest of her hair is
I think that's
blonde?
Aura Song.
That's Aura
She's
Song, yeah.
she's also
or a sing. Oh, okay.
yeah, that's Bazine Natal.
Okay,
yeah.
she's
Okay,
she sells them out in the cantina just like the elephant trunk dude does in the first movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember
There you
her.
go. All right.
Okay. I know who that is.
I would say those are 2 pretty good lists from you, Jody.
Yeah. Well, I don't feel bad when one of mine has 2 characters now because this motherfucker snuck in 2
you go.
fucking
2.
There you go. 2 whole lists.
10
2
characters.
whole
Yeah.
fucking lists.
Yeah, there you
Jesus.
Brady, let's go with you.
All right. So, my first one is the character Malakili. Now, you might remember in the Return of the Jedi that in the little Jabba the Hutt scene where Luke gets dropped down and has to fight the Rancor, and he kills the Rancor, and there's a big tubby fat guy who
that's
comes
him.
out
Yeah.
and
He's
cries over
crying,
the Rancor.
yeah.
Malakili is the Rancor trainer.
Yeah, he was on my short list. Yeah.
Fucking great.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh man, he killed this monster, and then some guy comes out and he's just making you feel really sad because you're like, oh man, he probably raised that rancor from a little whatever pup. I don't know what the fuck.
Just a regular 10-foot tall baby
phone
rancor.
that scene in either. He fucking balled his fucking eyes out.
He had one scene and he made the most out of it. He had the other weird dude patting on the back, and it's like, damn, man, damn. So yeah, that's what. Number 4. So one of so it's generally agreed that there are 2 pretty good parts of the Phantom Menace. One of them is the Duel of the Fates, and the other one is the pod racing scene. The pod racing scene, I would argue, gets a little bit long in the tooth, but overall, it's a pretty solid little race, and it's a nice distraction. One of those racers is Ben Quadraneros. I had to look up his name. Now, most pods have the pod and then 2 engines attached to it. What's better than 2 engines? Ben Quadranero says 4 engines. The problem is 4 engines is too goddamn much and it doesn't work. This motherfucker stalls out at the beginning of the race. And then the little coupling, the little electronic couplings come apart, and they shoot all over the place and probably kill some people in the stands. The man doesn't even make it out of the beginning.
He's just sitting there.
The best part of the goddamn race is seeing Ben Quadraneros yell and scream at these pit droids who are trying to fix his shit.
I love it.
All right. So, the next one is also from Return of the Jedi. I was a little Return of the Jedi heavy, so I changed up some things. That is my favorite, Star Wars movie. So a lot of those guys, I remember a lot of them. And we'll talk when we get to talk to short lists. I'll probably mention a few of them. So we're going off into the final battle, and Han Solo, being magnanimous, lets Lando Calrissian pilot his Millennium Falcon in the final battle.
Yep.
And who does Lando choose as his co-pilot? This is Neen Nubbed.
Mm-hmm.
The fucking
fish face motherfucker.
Yeah. I think he's a better co-pilot than Chewbacca. Just when they blow the shit up and he's Shit's great.
I love when they blow up the first Death Star casualty from the thing, and he goes, that blast
Good
came
stuff.
from the Death Star. That thing's operational.
I just want a whole
45.
I just want a whole movie of Billy D. Williams and Neen
That
Nubbed
guy.
just going all around, getting into hijinks. Give me that. We shouldn't have got a Solo movie. We should have got a Lando movie with Neen Nubbed. Great. All right. So, this second one is actually from some of the Star Wars comics, and I cheated, but I don't feel as bad because this motherfucker to my left got 2 lists. So, the Darth Vader comics that Marvel put out around the same time that The Force Awakens started are actually very, very good. I would solidly say, check these out. Pretty much all of that run is really good, and they introduce a character. This is not the character that I put on here. Dr. Afra. She nope. Don't write her down. She starts working with Vader for various reasons, and she has some droids of her own, and they're basically evil R2D2 and evil C3PO, and they are 000 and BT1. 000 is a protocol droid that it looks exactly like C3PO, except he's all black with red eyes, and he has torture devices in his
Hell yeah.
in him. So he's obsessed with dissecting people and
What the shit?
doing crazy shit. BT1 is an R2 unit with all the fucking weapons, like 20-30 missile launchers and guns. He doesn't fucking play. Yeah, there's a part where there's a part in one of the comics where Darth Vader is going to meet with these rulers of this planet, and he gets sidetracked because they try and murder him because they know he's coming to murder him. Well, those two sneak in and they just kill everybody in the throne room by the time Darth Vader gets there.
That's great.
Yeah, they're so funny to watch because they're so over the top ghoulish. Like Dr. Alpha is kind of evil, but they are like full on like horrifically evil. So if you want evil C-3PO and evil R2-D2, like these are the people that you want to check on. So my number one is going to be a little bit less of an obscure character, but he's one of my favorite Jedi from the prequel era, and this is Plo Koon. I first saw Plo Koon when the Jedi Power Battles game came out, which is basically like a Jedi, your Streets of Rage, but you're playing Jedi. It's like a side scroller beat 'em up.
Beat 'em up, yeah.
And he was like the heavy hitter of that, and it was really fun. And he had an orange lightsaber. But when you know the movies came out, everybody could either have blue or green. So to me, Plo Koon always has a orange lightsaber. But and that's really mostly what I know about him. But I know that he was a bigger part of the Clone Wars TV show, the more recent one. And has done a lot with that. And from what I've read about him, he's a pretty cool character in that too. I just haven't watched it. Maybe one day I'll break down and watch all those shows, but it's not going to be today. So yeah, that's my list. Plo Koon, I think he is one of the top Jedi. I didn't choose Mace. It would have been probably Mace Windu, but like I think he's a less obscure character. Yeah. Whereas Plo Koon, I don't think most people are going to know him off the top of their heads. So yeah, that's my list.
There's a very good singular list.
Yes.
Jay, let's go to you.
I only did one, unfortunately.
All right, my number 5 is Diala Pasil. Diala Pasil has the distinction of being the only Jedi character in the Star Wars Imperial Assault board game box from Fantasy Flight. If you wanted to play a Jedi with the base box, you had to go with Diala Pasil.
Okay.
Now, number 4 is Jack Porkins.
Yep.
Jack Porkins. I
knew somebody was going to put Porkins on there.
Jack Porkins is the first casualty for the Rebels in the Battle of Yavin.
Yeah.
Because that was intended to be a fat joke. The man's name is Porkins.
With a name
he
like
is a
Porkins.
large man. I've got a problem here, and he's staring down.
Yeah.
And he's staring down at his body mass index, and so and of course, so he crashes. That was a terrible fat joke. And moving on, my number 3 is Boosh. Boosh, I can't think. I was about to say bounty fighter. It's bounty hunter. The reason why Boosh is on here is because Leia cosplays as Boosh in Jabba's palace in Return of the Jedi. You never see Boosh.
You never see Boosh.
It doesn't get much more obscure than that as far as being in the main movies.
Yeah. A thermal detonator.
Because he's holding a thermal detonator. Number 2 is Lumpy, one of the many sons of Chewbacca.
Oh, yeah.
From the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Yeah.
I was hoping. So Lumpy, yes, again, I'm pretty sure is short for Lumbaka, but there you go.
That is the
I know what. Show them. I know what Lumpy looks like.
I know who Lumpy is.
All right.
Don't recite the deep lore to me. I was there when it was written.
Yeah.
I saw that before I saw any Star Wars movie.
Oh my God, Brady, we're high elves.
That was
compared to him.
That was on television.
And the number 1 on my list is Jawas, all of them.
Jawas,
all of them. Name a Jawa because there's too many of them. They took out a hero of the Old Republic by knocking out R2-D2.
Yeah,
like they
just ambushed that motherfucker.
Just 1, 2, 3, and then even though he hid behind a rock, he could not have conceivably hidden behind after edit 45 from George Lucas. So yeah, there is my list. Quick, dirty, and efficient. There you go.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
Good
Moving
list.
on.
Good list.
All right, host.
I do not feel like I've made my list as good as y'all.
Well, hang on. There's something you should admit to the two of them that you told me.
What did I admit to you?
So he also did 2 lists. but he had one, and he was like, "Is this if this doesn't work mustard, I'll just do the second one."
That was my original idea. That if
Yeah.
it was not obscure
Now,
enough,
to be fair, he was dying from intestinal gut rot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what might have happened is that he did a list but saw double. I'm not sure.
I will
just
say
pick the 5 out of the 10
I made
that you
one
got.
list in total.
You made
Okay.
one list.
Because
Okay.
the original plan was to make 2 and swap them out in case things weren't considered secondary or anything like that. So, going in with my one true list.
Okay.
Okay, number 5.
One wrist to rule them all. one list to find them.
My number 5 is going to be Boss Nass.
Yeah.
The one man that said "fuck you, Jar Jar" and just kicked him out of their
Yeah.
society.
The smart one.
Major respects for him.
Yeah.
Just automatically.
God, Boss Mass is so annoying with the way he speaks.
Yeah.
He may be annoying, but he did his entire society a
Yeah.
favor.
He gets the last shot in episode 1.
My number 4 is going to be Sebulba.
Sebulba.
Sebulba. Yes, the one being that truly rivaled young Anakin Skywalker that actually had a chance at rivaling him.
We both chose pod racers and you chose poorly. I'm sorry.
I didn't choose the funny one,
But the dude like uses his feet as hands. That's funny too.
Yeah.
He had the coolest pod racer.
Bata poodoo.
the man also wanted to kill Jar Jar.
Yes.
Also, so still a plus.
Yes, always a plus.
Okay, so going into my number 3, which one? Number 3 is going to be the Ewoks. Just
The Ewoks.
The Ewoks as a race.
That's fair.
just amazing.
I had a specific Ewok on my short list.
I know what specific Ewok. I can't remember his name.
Which one?
When I was doing my research, there's one that just kept going.
Wicket?
coming
If
up
it's
and
Wicket,
up.
it's no.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Wicket.
Oh.
Was it
mine-
the chief?
No, mine was Poplu, the one who steals the speeder.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was a good one.
Oh.
That's
think it was-
objectively the best Ewok.
That's a
I
pretty
don't
good
think it was
Ewok.
that one.
Yeah.
It started with an L name or.
No, I don't even know that one.
My number 2 is Plo Koon.
Plo Koon, there we go.
Nice.
Crossover.
Nice.
Yeah.
Crossover. Did not
Nice.
think that we would do that.
Yeah.
We didn't have to do that, but sure.
Yeah. No.
No. Now I'm voting for it to be. It's okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, because you're not here with us in the studio, I've already written Plo Koon as a contender.
Yeah.
Because I third the motion.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
contender doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be in there, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plo Koon is just an amazing character in
Yeah.
the Clone Wars TV
Yeah.
show.
My thing is their first crossover, high crossover.
Well, yeah, no, I'm
and
not-
more importantly, it can't be shot.
I'm not
Yeah.
denying you.
My number 1 is going to be Cad Bane.
Cad Bane.
Cad
Okay,
Bane.
yeah.
The most notorious bounty hunter after the death of Boba Fett. Hired multiple times.
Quote unquote death.
Yes.
He got better.
He
just walked out.
He had his own special TV. He had his own special episodes, like a 3-episode series on the Clone Wars TV show.
He's basically Clint Eastwood he's the man with no name in Star Wars.
Yes, he is the red-eyed blue alien that.
Yeah,
just,
he was in the Mandalorian TV show.
Book of Boba Fett, I believe.
Yeah,
which is
it is
basically
Book of Boba Fett.
which is
Oh,
basically the
yeah,
Mandalorian.
Which is it's Mandalorian season 2.5.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That is my list.
That's a good
All right,
list.
so we only have 4 to really need to consider here, so that's good. Plo Koon appears to be in quite easily. We have 4 more shots. Ethan, where's the bullet going?
Brady, you get the bullet.
Okay, cool.
All right, here we go. Would you like to shoot now or hold?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. I do want to say like some of my short list, Salacious Crumb, the little weird goblin thing that was with Jabba the Hutt.
That was.
I took him
also-
off because I felt like that 3 was going to make Return of the Jedi a little bit too heavy on my list.
Yeah.
Dengar, basically any of the bounty hunters from the 10 seconds that they're in
Right.
Empire Strikes Back. Like you
Right.
could put any of those on there.
Except I think IG-88 is. I think he rises a little bit above obscure.
IG-88.
only because of Mandalorian.
Of them, he's probably my favorite. But like,
Yeah.
he's. I didn't put
I
him
like
on there.
Bosk because
Bosk
he's a
is-
sniper.
Bosk is cool.
Bosk is really good.
They all,
And you
all
don't
of
see
them
many
have
snipers.
all of them have really cool ships. Like look
Right.
up what all their ships are.
Right.
And then play them in X-Wing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dash Rendar and Kyle Katarn. I put those two on there.
Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah.
Shadows of the
Dash Rendar.
Empire and Dark Forces, respectively. Yeah. Ki Adimundi, that was the other. That's like him, Mace Windu, and Plo Koon are probably my three favorite of the Jedi.
I was thinking
guys.
about like Plagueis and stuff like that, but like any of the Darths were pretty
Yeah.
much
For
out of.
me, if it's green and a Jedi, it's got to be Kit Fisto.
Yeah, Kit
Fisto's
Fisto's
on my
another.
short
Kit
list.
Fisto's another good one. I kind of thought of that, but he's not my favorite of those guys.
Is he in Shatterpoint?
No, but he's going to be. They
Because I
have
knew Plo Koon was.
they have previewed him. They just haven't released like when he's going to be out.
Okay.
Well, I think they've said like quarter whatever, but they haven't like given a month of him. Him and Ki Adimundi is coming. Ki Adimundi is the guy with the tall head.
Yeah.
For anybody who is.
But what about the Wookiees?
But
I
yeah,
have much faith the Wookiees have in me. Of course, Chewbacca knew Yoda. Like, of course. Anyway, so we're far afield.
Yeah.
All right. So discussions. What do we think?
I've got a vote for the Neeb dude from
Neon Noob.
yeah Neeb
Neeb
Noob.
Noob.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he was responsible for the.
He was also very entertaining for the short period of time
Yeah.
he was on screen.
he made an impression. Like even as a child, when you watched him,
Oh,
like
yeah.
he is. You're like, oh man, this dude's awesome.
He's
Like,
excitable.
I have no disagreement with that. Tell you the truth. So I will second that motion.
I see nothing wrong with that.
Neon Noob, you're one of the
Alright,
contenders.
cool.
Neon Noob.
I would like to make a nomination for the B1 battle droids because the little Roger dudes. Every time I see them, it's like
For me,
Roger,
they
Roger.
really carried the film. Like in certain points where it was like dragon.
just the antics that they get into and that one.
What's the thing the one says right before Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon light up their sabers? It's like they say something funny and I can't remember the
I can't remember the line either, but they were pretty entertaining when they were on screen.
For some reason, the only thing that comes to mind is like you Nimrod the Jedis.
Roger.
Hold on, let's see. So we have B1 battle droids, we have Jawas, and we have Ewoks.
Right.
So we have things as a
Yeah, I
collective.
think only one of those needs to go on the list.
So I think if we pick
Yeah.
one here, I
Yeah.
think we exclude the other two.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right.
I don't want to Jawas for me, like that was before the entirety of the series was polluted with commercialism.
Right.
It's just, but they're the most commercial things because they're literally junk scavengers out in the middle of the.
Yeah.
I love their.
I'm surprised neither of you put the astromech droid that blows up.
The
one
B5?
that the one that
Yeah.
that Uncle Owen picked, but then it
Yeah.
blew up. So
I
they
thought
took
about that.
R2.
That guy actually has a backstory.
Yeah, okay, so this is how much people have a backstory. So
Yeah.
in Empire Strikes Back, Ethan, on Cloud City at the very end when shit's going pear-shaped and everybody's running and screaming and everything, there's a dude running and he has a thing in his hand and his arms that he's kind of cradling and running. And it's this white thing that not looks like is an ice cream machine.
What the fuck?
But it's supposed to just look like a piece of technology. That dude has a name and a backstory.
What?
Yeah.
Yes. Everybody on screen has a backstory and a name.
And the Lego version of that, he actually has an ice cream machine and he's defeating stormtroopers to get to ice cream.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was on screen for
He's
like
a character in a video game.
2 seconds on screen.
Yeah.
So-
1.5.
I've made my call for Jawas. We have the B1 battle droids. Ethan, would you like to say anything in defense of the Ewoks?
The Ewoks, they're just little guys that they're trying to defend their home. Like Brady said, one of them steals a bike and just
They're the Viet Cong.
I would say
That's
like,
not a joke.
That's not a joke.
for me,
That's no.
for me,
At the end, when they're bouncing, when they're playing with the Star Wars, with the Stormtrooper helmets, they ate those starters. They were gonna eat the main characters.
They were.
Yeah,
they
they
were.
were.
Yeah, and then they convinced them they were gods.
Well,
because Jedi kind of are.
Princess Leia fed Wicket that food stick.
Yeah.
So
That's why they didn't eat her.
if we're going by secondary / obscure things in Star Wars,
Yeah.
the Ewoks technically save the galaxy. So I have to go with either Jawas or the battle droids because the Jawas and the battle droids do neither of those things.
My problem
So
is
you're saying the
I
Ewoks
don't,
are too featured.
Yeah, it's
kinda okay.
I don't. My problem is I don't particularly love any of those, but I have a special
attachment to
attachment
Ewoks.
to the Ewoks.
You do have your bullets.
Yeah.
You have a bullet.
You
Though
could shoot. You could shoot.
Jawas are not touchable
Yeah, I
because
can't.
they're
I
number
can't
one.
shoot
Yeah.
Jawas.
You could shoot the battle droids though.
Yeah. Fuck it. We're gonna shoot the battle droids.
Okay.
The battle
droids
droids
are gone.
have been shot.
Okay.
All right, so it's between Jawas and Ewoks. These are the hard-hitting questions that you'll get only on Travelers on the Omnibus.
Hold
Put
on.
one
One
of them in a
one
pit
second.
and see who comes out alive.
Hey Bianca, Jawas or Ewoks?
Okay, so Jawas win. Okay.
She's the tiebreaker. Ewoks.
Her.
Censored.
We got to do multiple censors on that one. So since we
Censored.
more censoring, okay, fun times.
All right. I'm gonna because of what she said. I'm gonna vote for Ewoks.
Ewoks to get on the list.
Ewoks, let's
Ewoks.
go.
Ewoks are on the list.
Okay.
Here we go. All right.
I would say Ewoks except Wicket.
Except Wicket.
Wicket is definitely
I'm not
like
taking I'm not taking Wicket out.
I
God
did
damn it.
specify the entire
Yeah.
race of Ewoks.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
because Wicket, he has like 2 movies.
That's true.
Technically,
Don't worry if you don't
technically,
remember
3
them.
movies, right?
I
Because
only remember-
he's got Return, and then he's got the 2
Well,
Ewok
yeah,
movies,
well
right?
he's they're not his movies though.
No,
Like,
technically, I mean, those movies are obscure. Among,
I mean,
you know.
yeah, a lot of people
we
probably
wouldn't
don't
have
even-
this problem if you'd chosen Jawas. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Can we move on?
I'm just saying. All right, so we have a shitload of bounty hunters. So we have Cad Bane, we have
I don't have any bounty
Bib,
hunters.
not Bib. Sorry,
Bib
we have
14.
Zuckuss.
No, you're looking at the wrong list,
Look at
buddy.
the joke list.
No, it's on there. It's considerable. Fuck it. I'm
also-
voting for Zuckuss. I'm voting for Zuckuss.
No, I'm not.
We have.
I'm not letting this motherfucker get 2 actual lists. Like,
Yeah,
as
I
long
agree
as the
with
joke
Brady.
list, we're not voting for anything on that fucking list.
I'm voting for Zuckuss.
Okay, you
Okay.
can keep voting for
Okay.
Zuck. This is not going to be a Die Hard where you just bully us into it.
To be fair, Die Hard is a wonderful movie. That's,
Yeah,
that's why
Die Hard
the
is better than
the
Zuckuss.
The bullying, yeah, well, yeah, I mean, it goes without saying, but that's what helped the bullying. So, but
Only
but
slightly better than Zuckuss and Forlom.
just in case people just okay, no, fuck it, Zuckuss and Forlom, boom. Okay, does it?
Oh,
does it
you
change
can't change Ewok.
No, I
you can't
can't.
take Wicket out of
I
Ewoks,
can't.
but you can add Forlom to that.
Yes, because I'm adding things.
God, this is the most obscure bullshit.
I'm
discussion.
adding things on. I'm not taking them
2
away.
people know about what the fuck we're talking about. Jesus Christ.
And even they're fucking done with it. Like there. So we have. I'm still saying it. We have Zuckuss. We have Boosh. We have Cad Bane. We have a bunch. We have a bunch of bounty hunters.
We do have
My-
bounty hunters.
There's a lot of heavy breathing
my
that I'm
gut
very
says.
uncomfortable with
My
right now.
gut says no Boosh
No to Boosh.
because, like, it ends up being Leia. So like, shit. That's
That makes it obscure.
that's close enough to main character for me.
Even though she's not a quote unquote bounty hunter, Brazine Natal does screw over.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to give that much to the to the
I knew the first word out of your mouth, I knew 7, 8, and 9 are just a non-fucking thing. It's one of the reasons why Unkar Plut didn't make my fucking list.
I would have been okay with Unkar Plut.
Shut the fuck. No one was going to be okay with Unkar Plut.
Or the dude riding the weird thing at the beginning of Force Awakens, the like mechanical, but it's got 4 legs. I can't even remember. That dude has a name too.
Yeah.
What do we got? I like Cad Bane. I like the look of him, but like I don't, because I haven't watched like the Clone Wars and all the other shit that he's in. I just don't know much about him. But I do basically know that he is Clint Eastwood in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Are we coming to a consensus?
I don't know. I just mentioned that. Nobody has said any.
I kind of no. I dig
Nobody
that
has
reasoning.
said literally anything else about Cad Bane.
I'm not gonna say no.
Yeah,
to
no,
it
it's
because
your number
it's my
one,
number
right.
one.
That sounds fine to me. Amongst the bounty hunters, he seems to be like one of the coolest ones.
Yeah.
Cad Bane. All right,
Cad Bane, there we go.
He's the coolest ones without being like straight up like it's too because like Boba Fett, even though he's not a main character, like
Right.
he was definitely out of contention with any of this.
Yeah,
I
all
vote
right.
for the Luke Skywalker clone.
Look.
I feel like somebody from the extended universe needs to be on there.
Extended universe.
I almost put Jorah Caboth. I almost put him on there, who is another clone
Yeah.
who created the Luke clone.
Yeah.
I get like,
And he was thought to be like an evil clone of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right.
It gets fucking weird.
it gets weird.
Yeah, the extended universe is like people lament the end of the extended universe, but there was some bullshit in the
There
extended
was.
universe.
Mara Jade, eventually Skywalker, killed Luke the clone because she was destined to kill Luke according to the Empire. But
Yeah.
what the Emperor actually saw was her killing Luke's clone. And then she killed possibly Obi-Wan Kenobi's evil clone.
Yeah.
And so all of the Jedi kills in that come from a person that was just invented for that
And
book.
then Jason Solo kills her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jason Solo, who is one of the 3 Solo children.
Yeah.
He's the one who turns evil. I think they all kind of end up turning
Yeah.
evil.
By the way, did
Well,
you know?
Anakin Solo ends up dying like as a child.
Yeah.
Also, Chewbacca dies when a
yeah,
moon is dropped on him.
Chewbacca dies too.
Also, some droids are force sensitive for some reason.
Yeah. There's a Jedi Wookiee called Lobaka.
Yep. Not kidding.
Luke Skywalker's clone.
I vote for
We
Mara.
haven't even talked about the lizard people that come from
desperately need one of Jody's joke lists to be on there over his regular list. I need this. I need this. So I will vote for Mara Jade Skywalker.
I was gonna vote for Lumpy.
I could also vote for Lumpy, not just because he's on the list, but the fact that the holiday special was not represented by anything else other than Lumpy.
Yeah.
I like Mara Jade just because anybody who like knows anything about Star Wars is going to be angry because she's not really that obscure. But I mean, she wasn't on anything like televised or in movies. But
She at one point wasn't obscure if you read the books and the
Right.
comics and all that shit, and some of the video games. There's a
she was in Masters of the Terra Kasai.
yeah. There was also
But also, horror was in that.
Yeah, that's true.
the kind of sequel that you got that was actually basically an expansion for Dark Forces 2.
Yeah.
What you starred Mara Jade.
Oh, okay.
She was actually became a Jedi under Kyle Katarn for some reason.
Yep. Luke couldn't train her because he had feelings. I don't know.
I don't fucking know. I do like that in the extended universe it was okay for Jedi to fuck.
Yeah.
And we just did away with all of that.
Right. The whole priesthood. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Meanwhile, at the start of the Thrawn trilogy, like Luke wakes up, he's like, "Oh, I need a drink," and so he starts drinking something. He's talking with somebody, and it ends up being hot chocolate, and it's just like, "Oh, that's just great."
yeah. Thrawn definitely wasn't going to be on here because
No.
I think that
he's
he's
too
kind of
well known.
obscure, but like especially now with him being back in the
On
TV
the
show.
Well,
Ahsoka.
he's now been both like a animated character and a live action character.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Who's been a major?
My
bad
order
guy.
would, for personal reasons, it would be Lumpy and then Mara Jade. That would be my 1-2 as far as this goes. If to narrow it down.
I feel like if we put something from the joke list on here, it's going to set a precedent where we're going to start doing
multiple
so
lists.
we're doing
allowing Jody
and then
to
labeling them
lists.
joke
it's
lists.
basically it'll basically become a top 10 instead of a top 5, and I know how much you hate top 10s.
Listen, that other list is just the extended universe for this one, Chalkboard.
Which is why
Disney bought the other list and they wiped out the first one.
except clone Luke is here.
No, don't think about it too much. It'll only hurt your brain.
No, I have to think about that. So yeah, my votes would be Lumpy or Mara Jade Skywalker.
I like how you're sneakily like just forcing us into these two choices.
Then somebody offer something else, please.
I already said Lumpy. I already said Lumpy.
I'm not.
On the sheer precedent that I know nothing about Mara Jade.
Do you don't know shit about Lumpy? Don't act like you're a Lumpy.
You don't know-
expert.
I know Lumpy. I know
There,
Lumpy.
cut that one. Cut that one.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
going on the
that's
board.
Going, yeah,
That's going on the board.
I will work on that immediately once the show's over. If I could do this live, I would do
Jay,
it right
could
now.
you move out of the way so I could see the other one?
No, it's only Lumpy.
God damn it.
There we go. I'm
Oh,
getting out
I
of the
forgot.
way.
It's Ethan's. Most of this is we've already talked
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Like Sebulba and Boss Nass are just not
I'll be
considered
honest.
right
I
now.
fucking hate Boss Nass.
I hate him so much.
I do like that he puts his ears in a ponytail, though. That is funny.
Yeah.
But everything else about him, I hate. And Sebulba is the worst of the two pod racers. So
There you go.
Yeah, it's a rough one.
I wish you would have said Dr. Cornelius and Ponda Baba, because I would have definitely went with that.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
What's your who is your number 5 again, Jay?
My number 5, Diala Pasil from Imperial Assault, the board game.
Okay. It's been a very long time since I've seen anything about that game.
My stuff was balancing between secondary and obscure.
Yeah.
And we'd also, because we had talked so recently about the board games, is the reason why she was on there. And she's the only Jedi character that isn't Luke Skywalker in that box.
Right.
So there was also that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I vaguely remember her.
Yeah, she's like, again, if
I think she like doesn't start with us. Like you have to do extra
you have to
things
find
to
her,
get
I think you have to through the campaign find her lightsaber.
find her
Yeah.
lightsaber. Yeah.
But she's still a brawler. And when she has her lightsaber, she then like, oh, that's an ATSD. Be a shame if I reflected that shot back into. Oh God!
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's like the Babe Ruth. It's like the pitch and it, bam, just right back at it.
So, Ben Quadraneros.
Mara Jade had an amethyst
Ben
lightsaber.
Quadranero. There we go. We're good. We're doing it.
I'm not opposed to that. he's a funny guy. He doesn't even know how to get his pod.
If you want me to
started.
stop this, Jody, I have one
I'll
letter
vote
left.
for the evil droids.
The evil droids are
BT1
also.
and
I am okay with
000.
them. They are hilarious.
Yes.
Darkly hilarious.
Yes.
Like it takes a assassin droids to bring some levity to a Darth Vader comic.
I think my list it would be Lumpy, then BT1 and 000, then Ben Quadraneros.
Okay. So mine is Lumpy and Mara. Yours is Lumpy, BT, and Ben Q. Brady, I would say with yours would be BT1
Yeah.
and then Ben
And then Ben, yeah.
and then
Mine is Skywalker clone and evil robots.
and BT1. Okay, so
So that didn't help at all.
No, yes it does. Yes it does. So
Ladies and gentlemen, we have to do math for this one. I thought like this is going to be an easy one where we don't really pay that much attention to it.
I knew this part would be stupid.
okay.
What-
So
Yeah, because you knew you were going to have 2 fucking lists.
But one of them wasn't supposed to be counted, and then Jay tried.
no.
Well, that's when
I
you
tried,
do bullshit
I tried
like that.
to get his second list
you have
counted.
to get ahead of him.
Yeah. You got to get ahead of me, and baby, I'm 100 miles an hour
I
every
know.
single second.
Yeah.
To be fair, I was
should have
seeing
seen this
music
coming.
when I said
I
I was
just
making
wanted a
second
bit,
list.
man.
Okay, so you got a bit, and
Yeah.
this is a great part of this
Yeah,
episode.
this is the funnest part of the episode.
No, this is not the funnest part of the episode. The fact that he had 2 lists was a funny part of the episode. Let us not diminish that. That being said, if we go by simple math and give a 3-2-1 voting out, Lumpy gets 6 points for being on the top of 2 lists, but because BT appears as in the second place on 2 lists and first on third, that would give them 7 points, and so therefore BT1 and 3XO
Sure.
get on the
Great.
list.
Awesome.
Motherfucker, you have 3 things on this list.
That's why I said awesome.
Awesome. I want to point out the 1, 2, 3 on 2 people's lists are all on here, and 2 people have nothing, including one person who had 2 lists.
Statistically, you should have gotten something on here.
Yeah.
That's why I voted for Mara. Anyway, all right. So there we go.
Hey, Brady,
So,
good job.
I'm not starting the precedent of 2 lists.
No.
Because if we were going to do top 10s, we should have been doing this from the fucking beginning.
just because you call it a joke list, don't mean it's a joke anymore. Okay, so we have Plo Koon, and I'm going to give Plo Koon Evil Eyes.
Oh, okay.
Even though he's not evil. Good.
Yeah,
Evil
yeah.
Eyes. No, I was just giving him Evil Eyes. And then we got Nien Noob, the Ewoks, Cad Bane, and BT1 and 3X, and Triple O, or 000.
I think the Ewoks got to be number 5, man.
Yeah, since
Yeah,
they're not,
That's fair.
I kind of
since they're not a
that.
general, since they're just a
That's
general
fair.
species.
Yeah, let's get that right there. All right. So 4 more to go. What is the guiding force here? Coolness, obscureness.
I think
My-
both.
What is our poll star?
That's why mine was a little bit of like, this is a funny thing that I can explain, and the other, and really, it's most of my list is this is a funny thing that I can explain, and then I have Plo Koon because I actually really like him, and I think he's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's where most of mine was
Because
coming
to
from.
me, okay, if we go by coolness, Plo Koon and Cad Bane rise to
Yes.
the top for me.
Yeah.
If we go for fun, Nien Noob and BT1 rise for me.
Yeah.
So, like, do we want to consider that poll star here? So, what are we going for fun, or are we going for?
What are we going to
cool?
weigh more?
I actually like the lineup the way it is. You have it marked. Plo Clean number 1. Plo Clean.
Plo Clean. It's like
This
do you
is
have,
the most time
do you have stains?
Plo Koon has ever been said anywhere.
Do you
ever.
Do you have stains that you need to get out real quick? Use the power of the Force through Plo Clean. It'll get them all out. It'll come out Jedi white. That sounds racist. My apologies.
My vote is 1, 2, 3, 4.
Plo Koon, Nien Noob, Cad Bane, BT1. I will not live in a world where Cad Bane beats these droids, because these droids have fucking caused murders of plenty underneath the express probably annoyance of Darth Vader, even though they were doing what they kind of wanted him to do.
I am all right with Plo Koon, Nien Noob, BT1 000, and Cad Bane.
Cad Bane. All right, do you have a thing on that?
Say that one again. I was barely listening, to be honest.
Plo
Okay.
Koon.
So Plo Koon, Nien Noob, BT1, Cad Bane.
Okay.
As 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
I'm okay with
Let
that.
me complicate this.
Okay. Sure.
Nien Noob is number 1. Nien Noob is number 1. He has to be. He, unlike Plo Koon, survived the movies.
This is true. This is true.
Fair. I don't care. It's fine.
Nien Nub is, yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay. I'm fine.
Nien Noob. So Nien Noob.
We have taken this shit way too fucking seriously.
I knew it was going to happen this way. All right, so BT1, and I will give him his full Christian name, 000, instead of 3XO.
You can literally, like, his
I think
name-
it's just like
it's
0
000. It's 000
Oh.
if you want to write it. If you want to write it, what it's normally shown as. But it's like 3PO where they call him 000 instead.
Do we have any final objections before we lock this in?
I mean, it's written down fine.
We're good.
No.
I like that our cool characters are separated and our and pretty much perfectly our funny characters are separated.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, Ethan, announce it to the world.
ladies and gentlemen, our undisputed, unquestionable top 5
Penultimate.
secondary obscure Star Wars characters. Number 5, the Ewoks. Number 4, Cad Bane. Number 3, BT-1 and 000. Number 2, Plo Koon. And number 1, Neon Nub.
You know, Jay, I'm really surprised that you didn't put either of the bands from Star Wars, either from the first one or from.
Do you know what the name of the band from Mos Eisley is?
I can't remember the name of the main guy, but it's the Modal Nodes.
So they have a second name based off of what they're playing.
Oh, yeah.
And they're called the Jizz Whalers.
The Jizz Whalers, because they're playing.
heard that somewhere.
Because they're playing jizz.
Because they're playing jizz music.
Yeah.
Jizz.
I've
music.
heard that somewhere.
Yeah.
Before it was a term.
And in Return of the
associated
Jedi
with-
is the Max Rebo band.
Yeah.
And there's a whole backstory where the band from Mos Eisley was wanting to get to Jabba the Hutt to play there because that's the big leagues. But Max Rebo kind of undercut them, so they're stuck playing in Mos Eisley.
Yeah, but then they got real happy when
I think
what
the
happened on the
Jizz
sailboat.
Whalers was like after they kind of changed some things, and the Modal Nodes is like their original, like they're not canon name, but it's like the name that they started being given in the expanded universe because they all have stories.
and they were on it. So for that one, like that, it was in the back of my head. The reason for the whole thing and like Cy Snudius and all the things there is just that's so in your face. That was less obscure for me, so that didn't even roll into my brain. It just
Okay.
didn't. But yeah, any other just like quick honorable mentions or things you may have thought would have been on other people's lists? Anything?
Nothing I can think of.
Like I said, this did take me back to when I would just like study and read about all these fucking obscure characters. Because I had the character encyclopedia, and then I also had the vehicle and ship encyclopedia.
The dude from Coruscant that has like the wraparound.
Lobot. That's from Cloud
not
City.
quite. He's from Cloud.
Yeah,
City, yeah.
Lobot.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a good one.
He's got a backstory.
Oh yeah,
If
he's
you
got
look
a
at
tragic ass
if you
back
go
stuff.
on Google and look up obscure Star Wars characters,
Yeah.
the picture of Mon Mothma is Lobot for some reason.
Oh, I looked that up just to try and remember some people.
Yeah.
But I didn't notice that. That's funny.
One of the-
that one threw me right off.
Google search sucks nowadays.
Google's AI is really not doing
It's
well.
not good.
Garbage.
And another character. It was more of a character type than a character, but the people they're missing the top parts of their skulls. They have a robot like thing around the top of where their eyes would be, and those are the creatures that Dr. Cornelius created.
Okay. There's some other like well-known
I
ones.
think they're called the Concaved or some weird
Okay.
shit.
There's the Weequay. There is he has a real name, but he's called Hammerhead from Mos Eisley. There's the devil-looking guy. He has a name. Yeah, there's a ton of. There's some of these where I was thinking like, oh, somebody's gonna say that one, and y'all went in a different direction, so that's very interesting.
Yeah. For me, I was again for obscurity was what I was going for.
Yeah.
But like sometimes I felt it was so super obscure that like you just literally went to find something.
Yeah.
So I kind of what brought me back down to like some things that may be more well known were things in the Star Wars periphery, like. Jack, like you literally get that he has that one scene, like you don't even see him taking off with the rest of the fighter craft. It's just this scene, like honestly, I think it was meant as this kind of weird, darkly comedic moment.
Yeah,
and honestly, it's one of the if there's one thing not for any kind of it's weird that the first person to die just crashes into the Death Star instead of being shot down.
They were called the decraniated. And so basically like the top parts of their skulls were cut off and replaced with droid parts.
Oh, okay.
So they're literally just a visor in the bottom part of their mouth. Like it's human. The top part of their skull is gone.
I don't remember seeing any of them.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, since that's fucking dark, Ethan, take us home.
Alrighty, bringing it back to you, Jay. Give us one of our friends.
One of our friends, Jason Holder and Jody Kite, soon we'll maybe not soon we'll be hosting a new podcast that will be first featured on this channel, Travelers on the Omnibus. It is Boomer Box, a history and personal recollection of their path through music from the early days of first listening to now, and all points in between, and possibly even before that.
Soon to be on the Travelers Network.
There you go.
Nice. Jody, hit us with someone.
I'll slap you with Silence Your Cell Phones, hosted by Kevin Shulton and Benjamin Button.
Wow.
First that you called him Benjamin Button, and then
Wow.
that you really called him Benjamin.
I thought you said bitumen.
Jared Hubbard.
We
and
definitely would
Kevin
not say
Shulton
that about Kevin.
host a
Kevin
show
Shulton.
called Silence Your Cell Phones. Streaming TVs, movies to watch, movies not to watch. Check them out. They're on all the platforms.
Over to you, Brady.
Oh, but it be Brady.
All right, I'm gonna
Brady.
I'm gonna German suplex you into whiskey and wrestling, where Jason Holder, who was just mentioned, and Michael Hill, who was not just mentioned, talk about weekly
I'm
wrestling.
glad you pointed that out. It was very
Just in
important.
case. I want to keep everybody on the same page.
Just in case someone has selective amnesia of 2 seconds long.
You might have that goldfish memory. Who fucking knows?
I prefer Mayfly.
You might be mementoing it up. I don't fucking know. We're not here to judge.
Was that Guy Ritchie?
No,
Yeah.
that was
Who was in Memento?
Yes, that was Guy Ritchie.
what? The director?
No,
that's Christopher Nolan, the actor.
Starred in it was Guy Ritchie.
Yeah.
And old Joey Sachs.
Yeah.
That's not right.
It's Guy Pearce.
Guy Pearce.
Guy Pearce. Okay.
Guy Pearce. I knew Guy was right.
Yeah, some sort of guy.
Yeah.
Who's that guy? Exactly.
Guy,
Oh, God.
Famously known for Prometheus.
Yeah.
And Bob.
They could have just cast an old man,
Yeah, they could have.
and it would have been fine.
Where was I? Fuck.
Whiskey and Wrestling.
Whiskey and Wrestling, yeah. Just go back like 30 seconds, and the people that I mentioned, they talk about wrestling
Guy
every
Pearce
week.
talks about wrestling?
No, I'm
Said
sorry.
30 seconds ago.
That was 30 seconds.
Now
They were like
40
35.
seconds ago. I'm sorry. Shit.
It's almost a minute now.
Yeah. They talk about wrestling, and they pair it with some, usually whiskey because that's their name, but every once in a while you get some bullshit like The Rock's tequila, which is ass, like The Rock is nowadays. So it fits. Yeah. Check them out wherever stuff is, So somebody, oh yeah, the guys from Joe Coffey and the guys from Gallus, they all helped train The Rock, and he sent them like a case apiece of his tequila.
Oh, no.
And man, they must have did a shit job because I don't know what they did to deserve that. That's just a fuck you.
Jody, back to you.
Speaking of The Rock, he's been known to post pictures on Twitter of him not eating at a fast food restaurant before 3 times in a row. Just so happens to be drinking his tequila right next to a cheeseburger.
Huh.
What do you know?
Funny that.
This is sell promotion.
Yeah.
Not really.
Because that's
Not
what I
really.
want to eat drink with fast food is
Terrible
straight tequila.
Terrible straight tequila.
Any tequila, to be honest.
Yeah, it's also true, but definitely not The Rock's tequila.
Let me chow down on my Big Mac and tequila.
Cancun is a weird place.
Yeah.
The world is a weird place. And so is Fearology.
Oh,
A show about
nepotism.
horror.
I was concerned
My
you were
own
going to say something about bearded drums.
person-
Continue. My own person.
My own personal experiences with horror.
Okay.
Personal.
So, if Frankenstein were the lead singer of Creed,
Uh-huh.
would the song be "I created my own person"?
Possibly.
Yeah, that would be right because Frankenstein is the doctor.
There you go.
Yeah. Percy Shelley was a shitty poet.
Mm-hmm.
That's why his wife did so well.
Yeah.
Comparison.
Yeah. Mary Shelley lost her. I wasn't going to say that sentence in echo. I'm sorry. Now I've thought about it. I don't want to say that sentence at all. So there we go.
We've saved him.
Let's
ladies and
continue.
gentlemen.
Saved you.
Moving on.
There you go.
Over to you, Jay.
Okay, so Bearded Drums, Stephen Nelson II and our friend Jarrett Taylor present to you a podcast on gear and gigs in the worlds of drums, including performances from Mr. Nelson recorded and on YouTube and all major podcasting platforms.
And to capstone it, we're going to leave off with the completed podcast, a Magic the Gathering-centered podcast hosted by Christopher Vega, Brandon Scott Tanner, and Brandon Smith. They go about the ins and outs of professional Magic the Gathering. They have deep integrated interviews with professional players, with Brandon Scott Tanner being a former Pro Tour player. Check them out. Available on Spotify. I do believe that is... Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for listening to us ever so faithfully with us.
Faithlessly.
Yes.
I'm glad that you watch us with no faith.
Yeah.
We have listeners from Brazil now.
Oh, okay.
So that's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, special thank you to McNarb Gaming for providing the studio space in which we record.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Cam.
I'm wearing a shirt.
Yeah.
Yes.
They have a sale on paint if you are interested in that. Miniature paint.
Nice. We have no idea what we're going to be discussing about next week.
It will be Star
It
Wars.
will be
related.
Star
Wars
Wars.
related.
We have that much in that we
Yes.
have down.
I believe we are pulling into the station now. Mm-hmm. Fuck it. I've been Ethan Skinner.
I've been Jody Kite.
You're sounding like me now.
Hey.
I've been Brady Davis.
Hey.
Hey.
I'm pretty sure
Hey.
all of these
Hey.
over-the-counter medications is getting to me.
Over the counter.
It was in that part of the desert where the drugs kicked in.
Yeah.
I'm James McCarthy.
It's like
thank you,
poetry. It
everyone.
rhymes.
I like poetry. I like poetry.
Thank you for listening to us,
Poetry.
everyone. Have a good one.
Hi, I'm George Lucas. I like to eat chicken nuggets with maple syrup.
We're gonna destroy every copy of the Star Wars Christmas special.
And yet they still have it on. They still have it on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Should have never taken that $4 billion.
Life Day.
Happy Life Day.
Happy Life Day.
I know Lumpy.